started as a DJ here in New York City before going on to become one of the most successful producers of our time. He was behind Amy Winehouse's groundbreaking Back to Black album. He featured Bruno Mars on his hit track Uptown Funk, which spent 14 consecutive weeks atop the Billboard Hot 100, no big deal. And he produced the Oscar-winning soundtrack for the movie Barbie. He's talented, okay? That's what we're saying. Now he's got a new book out. It's called Night People, How to Be a DJ in 90s New York City. You can find it wherever you buy your books. Please welcome to the show, Mark Ronson. I like your suit too.
I like your suit.
Thank you. I know I got a little suit going on. I was like, I'm a gentleman here today, so I dressed for the part.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, why did you want to write this book?
I wanted to write this book. This is a book about my time coming up as a DJ in the 90s, and I wanted to write about it because the 90s was this incredible time in New York, you know, before bottle service and VIP. Like the clubs were kind of these wild and free places where you had regular people and legends like Jay-Z and Aaliyah and Biggie just all hanging out in the same rooms.
Mixed bag, yeah.
And also, it was when I was coming up, it was when I found my passion. You know, I wanted, in high school, I played in bands, I played guitar and this thing, and I was always the worst musician in my band, you know? And I was like, if this is what playing music is like, I gotta find another lane. Like and DJing was this thing that I found sort of by accident that it was the first thing that ever said like, oh, I'm maybe good at this, you know?
Yeah.
Like after 10 years banging my head against the wall trying to play guitar.
That feels good too, and something hits and you're like, wait, this is it.
Yeah, and it took me on this wild ride, and also I wanted to write a book like that anybody starting out wanting to be a DJ. I wanted to know what the 90s was like. So that's kind of,
that's the thing too, though.
That era.
A DJ is a very different DJ now than it was then. Like even with like vinyl.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, and now it's like, you know, you
oh my
plug
God.
it in.
No, I had to carry like these 8 100-pound crates of records up 5 flights of stairs 4 nights a week to spend the whole night in the tiny booth all alone. But like, I loved it. And now, listen, DJing is, there's so many incredible DJs nowadays, but you can go up to the whole club with like this tiny USB stick.
And like, just like plug it in.
And just plug it in.
Are you a little angry at that?
Yeah, I'm so...
You're like, wait, what?
My back is so messed up, it's crazy. I have like, yeah, absolutely, but it's, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's just, were you influenced by any authors while doing this? Because it's a big task to go, I'm gonna write a book.
Yeah, well, like, I've never written anything before, so when I decided I was gonna write this book, I literally just went into the bookstore. I was like, where are the books about writing books? I'm sure that happens many times a day, but it was just like the DIY section, you know? So I like go in the back and I see this one book, it says, The Art of Memoir. I'm like, that's probably a good one. And then I saw Stephen King's On Writing. And you know, Stephen King is one of the greatest authors ever. And his memoir is like half of it is his life and then tells you how to write a book, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just like...
a scary one.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, it is a different kind of book, but I was like, it's really great because he's just like, lock yourself in a basement for like 5 hours. It's like about the discipline and all that you need. So I took a lot of that to heart, and then my book has like less blood falling from the ceiling and stuff, but
Way to go.
Yeah.
Kept it a little more family. Wait, speaking of family though, when you are writing a book like this, because I've had this conversation with many people that come out with memoirs or things like this, and it's like, do you get hesitant about sharing too much, or if it's somebody else's story, or do you ask permission? Like, what is the protocol for that?
There was a lot of stuff. I did want to go to everybody and ask permission because the book is called Night People, so it's about being in the club. It's about being out late. My parents were like crazy in the club, like, you know, and they were party animals like back in the '70s when they're coming up. So. Yeah. I was very honest about my own habits and things like that and talked about theirs. So I showed it to my parents and I was like, kind of like, oh God, what are they gonna think? And they were like, no, it's cool. My dad, his only comment was like, I never listened to that song that you mentioned. I can't remember something like, he was like, I didn't like ABBA or something. I love ABBA. Just want to set the record straight here before everybody comes for me.
It is funny what sticks out, though. It's like, really? From the whole book?
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
you got? Yeah.
But I was thinking about it, you know, I have 2 young daughters, and they're gonna read it someday. And I was like, wow, do I really want to put all this out there?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
especially because, like, when I'm talking to her when she's 14, I'm like, you can't stay out past midnight. She's like, you were doing acid in Sheep's Meadow when you were 14, Dad, you know? Like, but I guess hopefully by that point, I wouldn't want to have any secrets from them. But we'll see. They're going to throw it back in my face for sure.
Yeah, enjoy that. Let's take a quick break, everybody. Mark's new book is called Night People. It's out now wherever books are sold.